The work you do in the comfortable times is what's going to help save you in those uncomfortable times. You're not preparing for if the urge comes, you're preparing for when the urge comes, because it will come. You're not going to win the fight when you're at your weakest if you haven't been training during your strongest. When an urge to gamble hits you, it's not going to politely ask, are you ready? It's going to slam into you when you're the most stressed, when you're the most emotional, when you're at your weakest. And in that moment, if you've done nothing to prepare, you're just going to fold. I know, I've been there. Hello, my name's Daniel. I was a gambling addict for 20 years. I've now been in recovery since 2021. This video isn't a step-by-step guide on what to do when an urge comes, when a craving hits. This video is to help you understand why the work needs to be done before that urge comes. And if you prepare right, when that urge comes, you'll be strong enough to say no to that urge. You'll be strong enough to stay stopped from gambling. You don't beat gambling in your weakest moments. You don't build shelter when the storm hits. You build your shelter when the sun is shining. You build your strength against gambling when the sun is shining. This video isn't a checklist on what to do when an urge comes. This video is to help you understand why the work has to be done before that urge arrives, and then that will help you stay stopped from gambling for good. All right, let me tell you a story you can relate to. Back in 2017, I discovered cryptocurrency. I discovered Bitcoin in August of 2017, and I found a way to leverage trade. I found a way to gamble with that Bitcoin. I was hooked instantly. By December 2017, by the end of that year, I'd lost $57,000. I'd racked up about $30,000 of debt. It wasn't my money that I was playing with. It was to begin with. Once I lost that, I took loans, credit cards, borrowed off people, built up a hell of a lot of debt. The end of 2017, I said, never again. You've been there, haven't you? After that big loss, never again. I'm not gambling again. I hate it. Why have I done it again? I hate what it's done to me. I'm never doing this again. And then a couple of days later, a couple of weeks later, that anger towards gambling, that resentment starts to fade away, starts to drift away. And then when that urge comes, it's easy for us to go back. So I abstained from end of 2017. I abstained for about 18 months. I'm very careful with my words there. I say abstained because I didn't recover. I didn't use recovery. Basically, I was going to my GA meetings just to tick a box, just to keep my wife happy. I handed over control of my finances, put a couple of blocks in place, but I didn't do any inner work. I didn't work on myself. I didn't build up my strength against gambling. All I did was avoid gambling. So I obviously wouldn't go to casinos. I wouldn't watch horse races. With regards to the crypto, I stopped watching the UFC because crypto.com is splashed all over the octagon. So I didn't want to see that. I stopped watching the Formula One because every advertising board was crypto.com. And I didn't have any strength against it. I just tried to avoid it. I just tried to not put myself in a situation where I'd be tempted, where an urge could get me. And it worked for 18 months. But as soon as crypto started making moves again, as soon as Bitcoin started going up, my FOMO kicked in and I was like, oh, I've lost all this money previous. Now I haven't gambled for 18 months. It's all under control now. I'm going to go back and do it again. And I went back into it, convinced this time would be different. I wouldn't take any risks. I'd just invest. I'd just set it and forget it. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that's not what happened. I ended up losing a hell of a lot more and doing a hell of a lot more damage. The reason being, I didn't prepare. I didn't build my shelter when the sun was shining. So as soon as that storm hit, I had no defenses. As soon as those urges came, I caved in and went straight back to gambling. That's what I want to help you understand, that you need to do the work. You need to do that recovery. You need to do that inner work, working on yourself and building up your strength against gambling while you're feeling good. Because you don't know when an urge is going to come. You can't pinpoint what time of day, what day of the month that urge is going to come and get you. All you can do is do the work in the build up to that urge, which will help you be stronger against that urge, and it'll help you say no to gambling and stay stopped from gambling. I'm going to use a metaphor of a professional footballer. When they play that game on the Saturday, they don't just turn up on the Saturday. They do the work all week in the build up to that game on the Saturday. The only difference between this metaphor and a gambling urge is we know when the game is on a Saturday for a football player, whereas we don't know when an urge is going to come. So all we can do, we can't control that. All we can do is prepare for that urge. Could come in 5 minutes, could come in 5 days, could come in 5 months. All we can do is do the work to make sure we're going to be strong against it whenever it hits. So a footballer all week is practicing their shots, practicing their free kicks, practicing their heading, practicing their tackling, going in the gym, lifting the weights, putting the reps in, especially on the days when they don't need to or don't want to. But that is when it's most important to do it, because come Saturday, when that moment comes, when that edge hits, when they get that free kick, they've been practicing it all week. They've got the confidence to score that free kick, basically. You'll have the confidence to say no to that edge and to not go back to gambling, to stay on this recovery. And then after that edge passes, we just do the work again. We put the work in again for the next time that edge is going to come. Another metaphor, a gym, a boxing fight. If you're training for a boxing fight, you don't just step into the ring and expect to win straight away. You go to the gym, you get on the punch bag, you put those reps in, you lift those weights, and then when the fight comes, you're prepared. You're better equipped to win that fight. Every recovery tool you use, that's you building your mental muscle ready for when that punch comes or when that edge hits. The gym sessions, they're the comfortable days, the days when you don't feel like gambling at all. If you use those times to learn, to write down the reasons that you quit gambling, remind yourself why you've quit gambling, to connect with other people in recovery, to build a recovery plan, that is how you are going to build the muscle. And then that muscle will help you carry through. That muscle will help you carry yourself through when you're too tired, you're too sad, you're too angry, and you're going to give in to that edge. The work you do in the comfortable times is what's going to help save you in those uncomfortable times. You're not preparing for if the edge comes, you're preparing for when the edge comes, because it will come. How much work, how much preparation you've done will depend on how strong you are against that edge. So if today is a good day, don't waste it. Do some work, do some recovery work. I've got just a video for you on the screen now. The daily habit that has been changing my life and changing so many people's lives in recovery. Click that video